Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaves flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides the leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down today, nothing gold can stay. So yeah, it was a really good poem written by Robert Frost, a very well-known poet at his time. So let's analyze this poem. Start from interpreting per each stanza. So let's get started from the first stanza. The first line, nature's first green is gold. What does it mean? This line talks about the idea of the first signs of spring, when leaves begin to bud, have a golden or precious quality. The green here symbolizes new life, and the idea of it being gold suggests it is something rare and beautiful. Her hardest hue to hold. The golden hue of the first leaves is fleeting. This conveys that the beauty and freshness of early spring, or here we can interpret youth and new beginnings in a broader sense, is hard to preserve. Then, her early leaves flower, but only so an hour. This continues the idea of temporary terms. The flower or new leaf lasts for only a very short time, an hour. It emphasizes how fleeting and early moments of beauty or growth are, both in nature and life. So now let's move on to the second stanza. The first line of the second stanza, then leaf subsides the leaf. The golden moment of spring quickly fades into ordinary green leaves. This symbolizes the transition from something extraordinary or perfect to something more typical. It is the passage from youth or early potential to be more everyday or inevitable course of life. So Eden sank to grief. Here, Robert Frost alludes to biblical story of the fall of Eden, where paradise is lost due to the actions of Adam and Eve. It is another metaphor for the loss of innocence, beauty, or perfection, reinforcing the theme of impermanence. So dawn goes down today, just as the golden hour of dawn inevitably transitions into the full daylight. The moment of beauty or promise fade with the passage of time. In the last line of this poem, nothing gold can stay. This closing line encapsulates the central theme of the poem. No matter how beautiful or valuable something is, it cannot last forever. Everything precious or perfect is destined to change or fade. Then, let's move on to the assonance and consonance. Assonance is a repetition of vowel sound within the words placed together. In this poem, for an example, you can find assonance from the third line of the first stanza. Her early leaves flower. The repetition of the sound E in early and leaf creates assonance, while consonance is a repetition of consonant sound within the different words placed together. From this poem, for an example, we can find consonants in the third line of the second stanza. The repetition of the "th" sound in down and they gives a sense of consonance.